Welcome to Story Chats at Inspy Romance. I'm Elizabeth Madry, and I'm here with my two co-hosts.
I'm Narelle Atkins.
I'm Valerie Comer.
Today we are talking about winter vacation themed romance, and the challenge was to try to make it winter vacation without making it full on Christmas. So it'll be interesting to see how we did. My dog just came in. Sorry.
It was a challenge. I agree.
So yeah,
definitely.
So let's see how did you guys manage? Were you able to, or did you still get Christmas in there? Some, Narelle?
I have 2 books to talk about, and neither of them are Christmas.
Wow.
I have 3, and they're not about Christmas, but I can't remember for sure. I mean, there might be like a slide through of Christmas, but they're not Christmas.
Okay.
The vacation isn't meant to be a Christmas vacation. How's that?
That's fabulous. Okay. I think all of mine, mine are all Christmas. I failed.
Oh, come on now.
I had the hardest time with this.
Well, I went to Valentine's Day. I went to Valentine's Day because that's in February in the Northern Hemisphere. So that was how I found some books.
That is totally still winter. I just don't think of vacationing during that time, but it totally counts. Yeah. So with winter vacations, are we expecting snow, or are we open to tropical locations? Since I mean, like around here where it gets cold-ish comparatively, we often will go south for winter vacation. I imagine in Canada, Valerie also, well, I mean, we see them all up and down 95, all the Ontario license plates heading to Florida.
All the snowbirds.
Yeah.
Are we looking for tropical climes as well?
I have 2 that are more ski vacation type things, and then I have 1 escaping winter. So I picked both.
What'd you get, Narelle?
I didn't look at tropical, so mine are both in the US. Oh, one's in Europe and one's in the US. So I'm in the Northern Hemisphere. So I don't know if there's snow. One definitely doesn't have snow, I don't think, and one might, but I can't remember.
We'll see.
Fair enough. All right. So thoughts about winter vacation romance before we just jump into books?
People go on vacation in summer and fall or autumn or spring, but they don't necessarily go on vacation in winter unless it's skiing. Okay. And then it's not necessarily a full story.
Yeah.
I should have,
Yeah, there's definitely that. There's either the let's embrace winter vacation, which skiing would be a fine example of, or the let's escape winter vacation. If we're talking, well, I guess if we're talking the Southern Hemisphere and it's a winter vacation, then it's still the same thing, just in July and August.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That sums it up for me. I had a hard time prepping for this episode. I'm going to be 100% honest. This was a hard topic.
Yes.
I would just like to point out to all our listeners that Beth is the one who picks our topics. So
this one was suggested by someone who is not me. I know that. I might have given it the okay, but I did not choose this topic.
I just had to let everybody know.
Sometimes we need a challenge. And this is definitely a challenge.
It is definitely a challenge.
It was a challenge.
It can't all be the easiest episode ever, right? They have to make us think.
You got to struggle at some point.
And this is the downfall if you read print books, because you can't just go into the ebook app and put in winter and just do searches on books you think might have winter in it.
Yeah.
I need to start doing that. Oh my goodness. Thanks for the tip, Narelle.
Yeah. Our winter vacation themed books and see what we ended up with. I'm going to go first with my Christmas vacation theme.
All right, then. Have at it.
I am choosing, and it's kind of even worse than that, because like the whole series, most of it actually, the Freedom Ridge series, by multiple authors, is full of people heading to Freedom, Colorado for a winter ski vacation. So they do tend to all also go over Christmas, but many of them actually start out as a winter vacation at the start of December. And then like they get snowed in and stuck there, or, you know, something like that. So it wasn't,
that totally works.
Okay. So it wasn't necessarily supposed to be a Christmas vacation, but they got stuck there. So then they ended up staying over Christmas too. Plus the town of Freedom Ridge, Colorado starts all the Christmas stuff. Like the minute the turkey's out of the oven on Thanksgiving, it's like all Christmas all the time. So
it's very convenient for Christmas romance novels.
Yes, indeed. So that's why I'm saying this qualifies. The two that I think are the best examples of winter vacation are Stranded with the Hero by Hannah Jo Abbott, and Forgiven by the Hero by Tara Grace Ericson. Stranded, she goes on the ski vacation that was supposed to be when her boyfriend proposed to her, but he instead let her know before, like the day before their flights were due to leave, that he had been cheating on her and was in fact going to dump her. So she decided to go on her own to try and like reclaim her life kind of thing. And then she breaks her leg. I think she breaks her leg on like her first ski trip out. And, you know, then of course you have to fall in love with the hunky rescuer who helps you down the mountain, as you do, right? As you do. And then in Tara's, is a big snowstorm, and he trains search and rescue dogs, and he's out on a training his dogs. She is there on vacation to hole up in a mountain cabin to finish her next bestseller that she's working on. She writes thrillers under a male pen name, and so nobody knows that this famous thriller author is actually a woman, and she's hiding out trying to get this book written under deadline. And big snowstorm, and he sees the cabin and manages to get there just in time before they would have frozen to death. So they're like stranded together in the snowstorm, but it is her vacation
with a bunch of dogs,
with 2 dogs. Yeah.
But isn't she writing? Because I thought of Tara's book, and then I thought, well, no, because if you're an author, then you're actually working. So I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't know. I thought of Tara's book and I thought, nah, don't know if I can include that one. All
right.
It's a great book. But
I'm just failing like across the board on this one. It's like wrong.
But so read Tara's book anyway. It's great.
Yeah, it is. It's a great book. Apparently doesn't count. So if you hear my dog exuberantly chewing his squeak toy, I apologize. Narelle, do you want to? Okay. Maybe yours are better than mine.
I tried to be very good and keeping within the topic. So the first one I've got is Forget Paris by Autumn Macarthur. Now, there's one of them is on vacation. So the heroine is Zoe. She's the postgrad student that doesn't believe in romance and is trying and doing a psychology project to try and disprove romance. And so she's in Paris on Valentine's Day. And the hero, Gabe, and they're both American, and he's come over from the States because he's recently, I think he's now lost both his parents, and his mum's dying wish was this love lock gets put on one of the bridges over the River Seine. So he's on vacation, so that counts, and it's winter and it's Valentine's Day and it's Paris, and it's a fabulous book. So go read it.
Narelle checks all the blocks.
I had forgotten that one, but it is one of my favorites of Autumn's. I just love the premise of her being there to discount how romance is portrayed, and he's like, let me show you.
No, that's such a fabulous book, and it totally qualifies. Well done, you.
One for me.
Valerie, let's have your next winning entry.
I am going to start with an oldie but a goodie from the late Sandra D. It's called The Big 5-0. And it qualifies because it starts out with the heroine, middle-aged, approaching her 50th birthday, shoveling snow in Ohio, I think it is. And she is dreading her birthday because on her 48th birthday, this terrible thing happened. On her 45th birthday, and like goes back, she's just got this list of horrible things that have happened. And she's just like dreading it. And her next door neighbor goes, have I got a deal for you? My mother, who lives in Florida, wants to come visit. Why don't you guys trade houses for a few weeks? And so somehow this happens. And she finds herself on her way to Florida when she had no intention of going to Florida. Yeah. And she meets this guy on the plane, and he turns out very conveniently to be the next door neighbor to the house that she's house sitting. And this is a rom-com. Sandra had a really great way with situations. I don't know if we've done an episode really on romantic comedy. But it's hard because all of us have a very different sense of humor. And I most of the time got Sandra's pretty well. So I really enjoyed this particular one, The Big 5-0.
I remember that one, but of course I didn't think of it for this episode. And I haven't written a book recommendation, so it wasn't coming up in my searches.
Yeah, well, it came out in 2010.
Yeah. And
I read it in paper as an ARC way back when, and I don't even have it anymore. So I was like, oh, that book, and it wasn't on my Kindle. So I had to dig around on Amazon and find it and refresh my memory with the first few chapters. And I went, oh yeah, I wish I still had that book because I would reread it right now. But I didn't because I had other things I needed to read.
You can't reread every book in preparation for the podcast.
Oh, I know.
Unless you want a life outside the podcast.
Unless you want to live to be 150, and then
I know.
My goodness. All right. So my next one, which totally doesn't work at all, because sure why would it? Is A Cross Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh. That's her this year's Christmas novella. It just came out, I think in October. I think she released it in October this year. It's adorable. It is a brother's best friend romance. So the sister, I've completely spaced on all the character names. She needs a ride home for Christmas. Brother's best friend is going to be driving home. So he's like, ride with him. And she's like, not on your life. I absolutely do not want to do that, because she had this huge crush on him all through like middle school and high school. And he basically broke her heart without ever recognizing that she existed is sort of how she characterizes it. Yeah. So she's like, I'm done with him. I finally moved on. I'm not burning a torch anymore. But all of her other options to get home are gone. So finally she's like, fine, I'll go, but I'm not going to like it. And I'm not going to talk to him the whole time. And so it turns out that, here she thinks they're going from the LA in California, LA area to Illinois near Chicago, I believe, sort of straight shot. She's like 36 hours. I can handle, 2.5 days of driving. Yeah. But she thinks it's going to be fast, like no more than 3 days. But he actually has planned this road trip. Basically, she doesn't call it Route 66, but it's basically following this windy Route 66 path, like a week and a half is what he's got. No plans other than like a few like stops that he for sure wants to make.
And this is supposed to get her home for Christmas?
Well, they left early.
Oh my word.
Yeah. So yeah, it's fun. And just the changes in heart and sort of, it's just sweetly done. It's delightful.
Is there any snow?
There's no snow. Yes.
But it's winter.
It is winter.
And it's vacation.
It is vacation. There is
congratulations.
One, too.
There is actually, I believe, some snow because they make a little detour off of his basically all one long detour. And I think it does snow that night, if I recall. But it's super cute.
You'd have to go through the Rockies, wouldn't you, to do that drive?
Yeah.
So you'd think there'd be mountains that you'd have to cross somewhere. Yeah.
There were.
They don't always have snow, though. I'm here to tell you.
In December? Wouldn't you get snow? Okay.
Depends on where. I think they actually dipped down into like New Mexico. They went south. So they might, like, I don't think they crossed Colorado. They went down, which did not make her happy.
The scenic route.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, all right, Narelle, what you got?
All right, my second one is a love song for Kayla by Kimberly Rose Johnson, and I think it's in a small town in the mountains. So I think it's Washington State. It might be Oregon, but I've got this feeling it's Washington State, and it's a Valentine's Day romance. And so she's a florist who hates Valentine's Day, so it's a really fun premise. So you can just imagine that she's gritting her teeth as February arrives, and she has to deal with that for her job. And the hero, Derek, he's on vacation because he's a musician, and he's hiding in his mother's house from the paparazzi. So it ticks off winter and it ticks off vacation, and it's a really cute, fun story. I've talked about it before, so I won't go into too much detail, but it's a fun one to check out. And the Pacific Northwest is just stunning. So I don't know I can't remember if it snows or not. It might, but it's definitely winter.
It is. I'm so impressed that you went the Valentine's Day route for that, because that was like really clever. And I just got so fixated on like winter is December and January that I got stuck in this Christmas story hole. So well done.
It helps when winter is actually June to August for me. So I don't have preconception. So I'm thinking outside the box because I'm way outside the box.
Excellent.
She's so far outside the box. She's not even sure where the box is.
Exactly. All right, Valerie, what you got?
I think I'm going to go with Valerie M. Bodden's book, Not Until This Moment. Takes place on a college and careers trip, on a ski trip. So Peyton and Jared had been dating, and she's pretty excited because she thinks he's really, really awesome. And then she finds out that he has absolutely no intention of marrying anyone ever, let alone her. And he has reasons. Of course he has reasons, right? So they're both going on this trip because it's their college group, and she's choked with him. And so she meets this other guy, and she starts seeing him on this ski trip. And Jared happens to know that the other guy is not legit. And so he's kind of forced into a dilemma as to whether he will stick with his decision to never ever, or whether Peyton just might be worth giving that up for. But yes, it's got all the ski trip stuff. And as I recall, 0 Christmas. So I think I win the biggest gold star here.
I think so.
I'll take that gold star.
I just had a thought of one that didn't make my list, but now I'm looking it up real quick.
Do you want me to keep talking about another one while you do
sure.
that?
Oh, well, no, hold on.
Okay.
I got it right here.
All right then.
Maybe.
Silence.
All right. Yeah, right. But no, I think it's summer.
Narelle, do you have another one, Narelle?
Never mind.
Well, I was going to jump to Freedom Ridge. I think it was the Hannah Jo Abbott one, but we've already talked about it. Right. That was the one I thought out of that series fitted. Yeah.
Okay, well then I'll carry on.
Well, no, because I still have other ones.
Okay, fine. Go for it.
One I was looking at was Awakening by Joanne Durgen. But it's summer. It's not a winter vacation. It's a summer vacation. That's tragic. Yeah, it is. It's terribly sad.
And I looked up the island books I've read, and everyone goes to Ireland in summer or autumn or spring. They don't go in winter.
They don't want to go in the rain. The dark, cold rain. All right, so I had one more, which always seems to get brought up when we have Christmas vacation stories, and that's Nowhere for Christmas by Heather Gray, because it is vacation, but it is very decidedly Christmas, but there is snow.
It's not a vacation though.
No, it's not vacation.
They're working.
I was just thinking, yeah, they're working.
On vacation.
Yeah, so no, sorry.
The son is on vacation.
The teenager's on vacation.
Yeah, the teenager who gets dragged along with them is on vacation. And he's super angry about it because he's supposed to be going on a ski vacation.
True. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
This topic.
I still think it's work though. But it would be, but it's work because every expense they have is claimed on the business. It's the editor at the newspaper who gets hit for a whole lot of expenses. So to me, that's work. A whole
lot of expenses. Yes. So people seriously go read it, but it's not a winter vacation, just so you know.
And the other one I thought of that was Christmas is Christmas at Gate 18 by Amy Matayo. And they're in Barbados, stranded and can't get home for Christmas. But I think he may have been on vacation or hiding out, but she'd been working because she was a model. So I thought, well, that doesn't really count either, kind of maybe. But it was a summer tropical.
Really
yeah.
And then I had to think about, or maybe it was the Dominican Republic. And I had to think about, is that on the northern or southern side of the equator? Maybe it's not Barbados. It was Dominican Republic. And I'm like, I don't know my geography very well, so I didn't go look it up. Because it could have been summer if it was on the wrong side of the equator. But anyway.
Well, but if the people were there for their winter vacation, it doesn't matter. If I come to Australia in December for my winter vacation, even though it's summer, it's still my winter vacation. Right? Because it's my vacation from winter.
Sure. Yeah, it works. I mean, just like my Florida lady, right? She was escaping winter to go somewhere where there
you could come to you could come to where I live today in Australia towards the end of November when we're recording this, and it is freezing. You would think you're in winter.
Well, we can't help that. We have perceptions, and our perceptions need to be correct. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Do I get to go one more?
One more.
Okay, I'll be quick. You
don't have to be quick. You just only get one.
Okay. It's I Still Do by Melanie D. Snitker. It's a divorced couple. They've been divorced for a few years. Cora is a nurse. Gray owns a survival store. Now that's a unique one, hey?
Yeah.
I've seen something like that before. His grandfather had planned this vacation in Aspen, Colorado, planned for a weekend of skiing, wanted the whole family to come, specifically invited Cora as well as Gray, and then the grandfather died before the vacation happened. And so she had really been close to her ex-husband's grandfather, and so she decides to go anyway. And of course there's a blizzard and she's snowed in with Gray and blah 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 blah. It's all good, but it's one of my favorites of Melanie Snitker's. That's it. I'm done.
Great. Final thoughts on winter vacation romance, other than the fact that it's really, really hard to find.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing if anyone comments on YouTube or on the Facebook page with some winter vacation ones and see what our listeners come up with.
Right.
See what we all missed. We probably missed some really obvious ones.
I should have looked. Now that I'm thinking of it, now that it's too late, we did that winter but not Christmas episode in January last year. I should have looked at those books and seen if any of them were vacation, but I don't think they were. But
they weren't.
Or if anyone.
Oh, you looked.
Or if anyone.
I looked at what I talked about. They were. Okay. I don't think they fitted. Yeah, I ruled out so many books. So I went to Secretly Yours by Valerie Comer. Nah, they're all working. I went to.
They live there.
I literally looked at about 30 different books. There were so many books. I could get winter, and I could get the vacation element. I could get winter, and not Christmas, but I just couldn't get that vacation. Everybody's working. People just don't have oodles of money just to go on vacation for no reason.
I think that all our fans and watchers and listeners should be really impressed by how hard we work to come up with not only these difficult topics, but then to find 30 books she looked through. People, we took this seriously.
Absolutely.
It was a desperation to not. But anyway, we get there in the end. Yeah.
So definitely, yes, please let us know your winter vacation book picks. Maybe there's some low-hanging fruit that we missed, but I don't think
we'll pick it next year at this time.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us at Story Chats. We look forward to reading those comments on our YouTube channel or on the Facebook page for Story Chats. And you can find information about the podcast at inspiromance.com/story chats. Jeez. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. And actually, most podcasting stuff, you can add us to your podcasts or subscribe in some way so that you still get the new episodes pushed directly to you and you don't have to hunt us up. You probably all already knew that because you're smart. So, but just in case that slipped your mind, you're new to podcasts, you can do that too, and we would love it. So we don't want you to miss an episode. So we will see you next week. And in the meantime, don't forget to fall in love with a good book. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.